are now tuning in to the Core Focus Podcast.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are, and thank you for joining us today. I'm your host, Alyssa Simmons, and joining us remotely, I have my co-host, Ryan Wright.
What's going on?
We also have Miss Savannah Johnson.
Hi.
And Mr. Aaron Wilson.
Hi there, it's nice to be here.
So today our topic is forgiveness. So to jumpstart us into our discussion, my first question for you all is, would you consider yourself a forgiving person?
Yes, but in due time, I would say, depending on the severity of whatever the situation is, I feel like it is so important to forgive. Mm-hmm. But I feel like you should do it at your own time. Mm-hmm. And you forgive for yourself, not really so much for the person that caused harm or any form of pain.
Mm-hmm. I hear that. Personally, I feel like I am a very forgiving person because I feel like not forgiving somebody or being very, very hostile towards somebody because of what they did to you in the past. It just takes up so much energy, and I feel like you can use that energy and put that towards something productive. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if you don't consider my morals or my principles, I just feel like actually being able to forgive other people just makes you a better person overall.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say I'm a forgiving person. I think at first, when someone does something wrong to me, I just sometimes have to analyze what was done. And for me personally, I just don't like to hold a grudge on things because it will wear me down and have an effect on my life. And I just don't like letting small things, big things get into me like that and take me down and break down my character, you know. So I try to forgive as much as I can, not in a sense where I completely forget about what a person or what an event has happened, but just learning to let God handle whatever issues that person or that whatever happened, and letting him take on that pain and that stress, you know, relieving it all from me.
Okay. I definitely agree with that. I'd have to say the same. I think for me personally, kind of like you all said, forgiveness for me is like for my own sake. I feel like if I dwell too much on the harm that someone did, then I'm just gonna bring myself down, bring my energy down, my mental health down, anything overall really, because you're dwelling so much on the wrong, you're not really able to move past it and, you know, go forward in your life. So I feel like there's been multiple occasions for me where I've had to kind of learn how to deal with that. You know, if I was done harm and I was like, wow, like this person really did this to me, like trying to dwell on it, and I didn't realize how much that was holding me back from being able to go on and make friends maybe, or just have trust in people in general, because I was so stuck on that. So I think a lot of us also, we kind of touched on not dwelling on something because we don't want it to affect our psyche or whatever we may be feeling. Our mindset, exactly. Mm-hmm. So I think another question that kind of plays part in that is, how would you guys say forgiving someone or forgiveness in general can benefit or impact our mental health overall?
I would say, like, when you forgive someone on a certain situation, I know, like, for me, like, I just had to end a relationship with a loved one recently. Yeah. And, like, for a while, all of June, it was still eating me up inside. And then on, like, 4th of July, I, like, messaged them. And I was like, hey, I forgive you, but I also just want you to know that I don't do this, and this, just so you know. I realized that those who really know you know who you are as a person. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, to get back to the question, is that I feel this feeling of like, wait, being lifted off of me. Because I know that there's other things in this world that we have to focus on for ourselves. And that helps me shape my mind a little bit better to focus on other things. Because if you're dwelling on something, right, you're constantly thinking of that thing that they hurt you with. And if you're waking up still thinking about it, you're going to go to bed thinking about it. Or just going throughout your work day or school day or whatever the case is that you're doing, you're constantly focusing on that thing instead of the positives of certain things or just moving on in your life. And so, I feel like just letting go of the situation, not forgetting, because healing in itself takes time. And how you can heal from the situation is really forgiving that person that has wronged you or the situation that has hurt you.
Man, that's really tough to follow. Personally, I think that when you do forgive somebody, you gain a sense of closure in some scenarios. Like, for example, last year, I lost a cousin due to actions of another person, and it hit hard because this was like somebody that I had grown up with all my life. This is somebody that I used to go see at our family get-togethers, and just thinking that I'm not going to see this person anymore really hurt, and realizing that somebody played a role in making that happen broke me down even more. But I found myself in this dark, brooding space, and I feel like if I continue to dig deeper, I wouldn't have gotten out. So I think that looking towards the light and having some form of forgiveness and just looking to God, I think that actually helped me cope with the death of my cousin. I'm also in this men's group where we talk about forgiveness and stuff like that, and we had a conversation on that, and a lot of people were like, if I were you, I don't think I would be able to forgive. And my question to them is just why? Because you're just losing so much. You're losing your time. You're losing your energy. You're just losing your faith to an extent. So why wouldn't you just, find a way to look inside your heart and forgive? Pray for that person that's wronged you, so that they can be better to other people that are in their life.
Yeah. To answer the question, I think, like I said earlier, it just relieves a lot of stress. And it builds up anxiety and all that, all that anger. It's good to just let it go. Because with all that built up energy, all that built up negative energy building up inside of you, it'll eat you alive. And it's happened to me before. And I've just learned to channel it and just get through it. I think for me, how I get through something like that is I always try to be as optimistic as I can, placing myself in the other person's shoe, placing myself on the other side of what had happened. Why did this happen? Why did this person make a decision like this towards me? What I'm saying? I always try to be optimistic and understanding of the other person's side, because who knows, maybe they could be hurting, Back, I can remember when I was in 5th grade, I remember we were doing some science lab. It was about the digestive system or something like that, something silly. And we were we were using some little tools to play with the whatever it was. But I remember me and the kid were arguing over it, and we were tugging at the little scientific tool or whatnot, saying, "No, I want it. No, I want it. No, you're supposed to do this." We were both angry about it. And I just remember, I remember, what did he say? He said something along the lines like, what your problem is, you're Black and you're dumb, something like that. And I just remember breaking down. I was upset. I was hurt. I was like, wow, I'd never experienced something like that said to me, experienced someone saying that to me before. And I was only 10 years old at the time. So I just remember being so devastated someone had said that to me. And I remember later on, after my mom came and dealt a bit with the school and stuff, she talked to me, and we went down. And the bottom line was what he said was not okay. but I also learned to also place myself in his shoes. What did I do to him? Was he hurting because of something I had done? We went through what had happened. And so it's just stuff like that, putting myself in the other person's shoe, because what my mom didn't want me to do is carry that weight with me of what he said for the rest of the school year. It was like in December of the school year, and it was still carrying. She didn't want me to have that carry on, have that, what's the word? I guess hatred against him. And so she really helped me channel that negative energy and let that go, and to help me enjoy the rest of my 5th grade year. And so it's just stuff like that that'll help my mental health personally. And I think that's just the best way someone else or anybody can deal with it, is even though someone has done something wrong to you, if you let that affect you, who knows what that can happen to you, academically, personally, how you behave towards others, how you act towards others, So that's how I how to help forgiving others benefit my mental health.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I feel like we all kind of, there's various different layers of mental health, obviously, and we all kind of touched on it, but something specifically that stood out to me is when Aaron said that if he, I guess, had that grudge or had, that hurt and allowed it to stay with him, he said he could have dug himself in a deeper hole. And I feel like that kind of brings in mental health specifically a lot, because it brings us into depression in a way. And I know for me personally, whenever in the past when I've experienced hurt, I kind of almost slipped into that, sort of state, and where I was like, wow, this person really wrongs me. And I think a lot of the times as well, when you are hurt by someone, you're kind of like more shocked than anything, because that's like someone you trusted, that's someone you had expected was not going to do whatever they did to hurt you. So you definitely have a sense of like shock and like, wow, you really played me, like you really managed to do that when I wasn't expecting it. So I feel like if you continue to dwell on that hurt and continue to dig deeper and be like, wow, this person did this to me, I put all my time and energy into them, then you are eventually going to dig yourself into a deeper hole, because you're not allowing yourself to move past it. So I feel like being able to be a forgiving person and have a forgiving heart in that sense allows you to not fall into that depression or into whatever negative mental health experience you may have, because you weren't willing to just open up your heart and let go. And as Savannah said, we can forgive, but we're never going to forget. There's stuff that even Ryan said, something from 5th grade, and he still remembers it. So, of course, it still is going to like have a toll on your life, but you're able to move past it and walk away and still enjoy the rest of the life that you have. So I think it's very important to be able to do that. Otherwise, our mental health is not going to go anywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely agree, because I personally know a lot of people that are like consumed in like bitterness and like, I can't believe this person did this to me. I can't, and I'm not even gonna lie. I've probably been the center of that hurt.
Right.
I've probably heard a lot of people like that, where they're just like, I can't forgive you. And so, and not to mock them, but like, but I think to myself, like, man, if I was in your shoes, like, I just wouldn't be able to live like that, because then I would just be mad at everybody and I'd push people away.
Exactly.
There's another individual, who I won't name for obvious reasons, but there's a person that I know that in our first year of college cut off a lot of ties with his friends, and he felt really, really bad about it. But instead of apologizing to them, he got to know me, and he knew that I had this picture painted of him from them, and he's like, hey man, I apologize for how you see me. I'm just trying to work on myself. And in my head I'm thinking like, hey, I'm not gonna forgive you because you didn't do nothing to me.
Right.
You need to ask them for forgiveness, because you wronged them.
He was the one that cut them off.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. But I tell him, I'm not gonna say it's like a lost cause. I tell him like, hey man, if you really mean that you're making changes, show it, and then they'll have no other option than to forgive you, because if you show that you're developing as a person, and if you're becoming a better person overall, like, I think you deserve a second chance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely get that. Ryan, Savannah, y'all have anything to add?
I'm good.
Okay.
But if I say one thing is like what Erin was saying is actions speak louder than words. You can
100%.
say anything, but can you put your words with your actions? And it's like all about accountability. Like I'm gonna be honest, I cannot stand people not taking accountability for their wrongdoings. And like I'm gonna be honest, I will not forgive you for it. I will act as if I've never met you before. I'm a Capricorn. Like, I just know, like, I will move on with my life and they can do the same. And so it's like, there's nothing wrong with working on yourself. And like Erin was saying, it's like, you can cut those people off all you want, but you have to ask them for forgiveness. And I think the most important thing is talking about whatever that issue is. You can speak about it. You can let them know how you feel. And at the end of the day, it's up to them to either take accountability for their wrongdoings or not. You can't change a person. That's something I know I've learned in my life. You cannot change a person. You accept them for who they are. And you kind of just go from there.
Right.
Okay, so this may be going a little bit off tangent, but that does kind of spring a question for not only you, Savannah, but for everyone, of course. But I think my question, you said when, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like if someone wrongs you, it's going to be hard for you to forgive them. Like you're not going to forgive them. Or if you do, you're not going to forget about it at all. So when you're talking about accountability, how do you move past forgiving someone or I guess forgetting the harm that they caused you, if they are willing to take that accountability and acknowledge, yes, I did wrong you, this was wrong, I apologize. Are you still having that mindset of I'm not able to walk past it and move past it? Or how do you allow yourself to kind of forgive and move on with that relationship if you do?
For me, it's like I have to like process what they did first. And then when I'm ready, I'll talk to them. And then I think you have to rebuild that trust. Trust is not handed to you on a silver platter.
Yeah.
And if you have lost trust in that person, I think there's so much more room to grow in that relationship or to rebuild that relationship. And I think you just have to kind of like start there. I know for me, I have to start there. Not all relationships are rainbows and rubies and butterflies. But I think just like starting there with building that trust after forgiving them and just finding out ways you can work together in that relationship. Whether that is friends, significant other, loved one, whatever the case is. And relationships go both ways. It's not one-sided. Then you're just having a relationship with yourself.
Okay. I like that answer. Do y'all have anything?
That's a good question. Can you go back to me on that one?
Okay.
I think moving past forgiveness is, I feel like it depends on who the person is. Because there's some people in my life that, if you did me wrong and like you're not going to own up to it or have accountability, man, you don't have to be here. You know what I'm saying? Like, Lord, I'll just distance myself from you because, you don't play like that huge role, you know what I'm saying? Like I would like for you to be a part of my life, but like if you're not going to own up for your actions, or at least if you're not going to talk to me as a human and be real with me, you know what I'm saying? Then you don't need to be in my life. But at the same time, if there is somebody who is that important, I want to talk with them. I want to build that bridge that might have burned, because having that bridge and having that connection might be important. Like, hey, this person doesn't even need to be my friend anymore. This person might not even need to be my family,
100%.
Yeah, this person might just need to be my acquaintance, and that's okay. But sometimes we need to realize that forgiving somebody and allowing them to stay in our lives can benefit us in the future, if it doesn't cause us harm. You know what I'm saying? Because there's boundaries, obviously. So yeah.
Again, accountability, people.
It's a big part of forgiveness, 100%.
Yeah. To get past forgiveness, I think I agree with what Aaron said. Like, it depends on who the person is, you know. For me, it's like, if you're a family, like, that's even harder, especially if they did something wrong. And I think it was said before, but it's just like, sometimes, like, I can forgive you, but I gotta love you from afar.
Yeah.
Even though you're my family, I gotta love you from afar, you know. And I think with forgiveness, it also ties back to just me learning to be optimistic. You know, and I can admit when I'm wrong. I've done wrong to others before, and just knowing the fact that people are able to forgive me, I should be able to forgive them. I believe in that. It's also a thing of trust. If you lost trust in somebody, obviously you got to gain it back. You do something wrong with me, and I lose that trust in you, you're gonna have to work to get it back. Right. And like how Aaron said, admit when you're wrong. It's just building that trust back for me, and how I can get past that forgiveness as well. And I can obviously forgive you, and even if you don't own up to your own issues, I'll still be able to forgive you, because on my end, I'm good. I want to be able to enjoy my life. I want to be able to stay clear-minded. I want to go forward, not backwards. You know what I'm saying? I want to enjoy the good memories of the past, not the bad. I'll remember the bad, but I'm not going to dwell on it. You know what I'm saying? I can't let it eat up to me, because I have somewhere I want to be in life. And if you're in the way of that, I'm going to say, you know what? I appreciate my time with you, but I'm going to have to put you to the side, because I want to enjoy myself. I want to enjoy my life. If we can, maybe someday in the future, we can build that bond back up and build that relation back up. Great. But it's also a little selfish thing, but it's a good type of selfish thing, you know, because you just want to be able to better yourself, be able to, you know, keep your mental health stable, and whatnot. So that's how I am able to get past that, you know.
Yeah, it's a two-way street. I think forgiveness is forgiving, but also being able to have that person prove to you that they deserve your trust. And if they lost that, you got to work to build it back up. But yeah, do you guys have, I'm sure for any of our audience that's dealing with maybe any grudges, any hurt, any hardships of trying to move past it and, you know, be forgiving of other people, do you guys have any advice for them?
I would say, look, life is built like a car.
Oh, wow.
Hold on, wait.
Aaron with the metaphors.
Wait, check it out. No, check it out, because this isn't even mine. I've seen this on like Instagram. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Let me keep it 100 with you. But I saw it and I was like, this is legit. Life is like a car.
Got parts.
You know, the rear view mirror is kind of small. That's why the windshield is way bigger, because you can look in the past. No, hold on. Wait, you can look in the past, but you need to focus on the future. You can look at how somebody wronged you, but if they're building themselves up to become a better person, maybe they can take that step or they can walk with you into the future. You know what I'm saying? It's a process.
It is.
You know what I'm saying?
Man, it's poetic out here.
No.
That's all. Aaron should write some poetry.
No, that's all Tumblr. That's Tumblr.
Savannah.
You know, how can I beat that? Like, how can I beat that? I mean, you do when you're ready. I remember one of my kiddos got into like I don't even know, but they were butting heads, and the person that wronged them, she apologized to them, but like that person didn't forgive them. And the person that hurt them was very upset about that. And so I pulled the little girl aside and I'm like, I'm gonna call her Sally for
right
kind purposes. I can't even think of the word, but for security purposes, I was like, Sally, like, I can understand why you're hurt. You can forgive this person, but you do it in a process. And so, like, do it when you're ready, but don't dwell on it too much, because how are you going to move forward in your life if you're constantly thinking of that painful thing? So that's my advice.
It's a good piece of advice. Ryan?
Final thoughts, final words. I would just say, let God handle your issues. Let God handle all that pain, all that stress, all that worry, you know. Don't put that upon you. Don't let it affect how you live. Don't let it affect your academics. Don't let it affect your work life. Don't let it affect your social life. Accept that good kind of selfish, you know. That's the good selfish you want to better your life. And take the incidents that happen to you, take the wrongings that people have done to you as lessons, life lessons. So, you know, in the future, what kind of people you want to be around, what kind of spaces you want to be in. And yeah, so just let go of all that pain and anger and built up, you know, hurt, you know, and just, it's tough to forgive. And trust me, it's tough to forgive, but I promise you, if you let that go, learn to forgive that person for yourself, not for them, but for yourself, I promise you, you'll go far ahead in the future.
Amen.
100%. Yes, I'm honestly just going to say the same thing. If you are struggling to have that forgiveness, I would say just do it for yourself. Even if you don't want to forget about the hurt or harm they may have caused you, just have that good selfish, like Ryan said, and just be like, I deserve to move past it to better my life. So it's important for me to forgive this person for something they may have done intentionally or unintentionally. So yeah, thank you guys for joining us today. Thank you all for tuning in. Be sure to tune in on Facebook Live and corechurch.org on Wednesday, August 11, at 8 a.m., where we focus in on the topic of school. Bye, everyone.
Amen. Have a blessed
Peace
day.
out. See you later.
See you.